Well, the Senate is doing its job. I think there is a general need to understand the role of the Senate in this process. The person with the primary responsibility to select his team, to select his ministers, is the president, and is the one to do most of the background checks because he knows what he wants. He's the employer. He's the person they are coming to minister to assist. Now, the role of the Senate is to ensure that one, the nominee is constitutionally qualified. Find out as a citizen, is an adult, is educated to the minimum level. And if a person is qualified to be a member of the National Assembly or qualified to contest to be a member of the National Assembly, the Constitution advises the Senate that that person is qualified to be a member of the Federal Executive Council. Now, so the job of the Senate at that level is basic. Now, there are other things. If, for example, the nominee has other history or features, like in the case of Mr. Kiyamo, who had been a minister before and who had a record with the Senate, they may want to question him on that record. Now, but the majority of the work after that resides with Nigerian people, because when the Senate is empaneled or assembled or convoked, you are supposed, they are representing you. So if you know anything that may make a nominee not to be qualified, then you do that by way of petition to the Senate. Now, with respect to security agencies, their role is advisory because they have the know-how to assist the two organs that have constitutional duty of screening: the president as the executive and the Senate as the legislature. So anything they do is to advise them. I don't think they're bound to take the advice. If, for example, there's a security report that a particular person is involved in domestic violence or is being investigated for something serious, and that investigation might embarrass the government later or has some record overseas, which the senator may not know, it doesn't mean that they have to follow. They will take that into consideration. So the Senate might advise the president to say, well, in view of what we know, do you want to reconsider? Now, the president may reconsider, he may not reconsider. So I think, legally speaking, the Senate is playing its role the way it should be.
So, Parliament body, are you, as somebody who is an employer of labor, you sought to lead in different times, are you satisfied with what you saw yesterday and previously?
Okay, let me start with the appointment that the president has made. They won't be the one I would have made if I was president, maybe one or two. So everyone has their own ideological background, has their own program, what they want to do. However, as long as they are satisfactory to the president, and he is the executive because he doesn't share the executive function with anyone. Under the Constitution, the executive powers are vested in that one person, the president. So he has to choose his team. It is his right constitutionally. Now, it is not for us to supplant his judgment with ours. So he has the right to make a weak choice, a bad choice, but he cannot make an unconstitutional choice. So if the person is legally qualified, it is up to the president to use somebody to work for him whom I would rather not use to work for me. That is what we need to understand. So the Senate is not supervising the president in the choice of his ministers. Say, you are not making the right choice, this person will have been better. No, they want to ensure that they are assisting him not to violate the Constitution. For example, appointing an 18-year-old who is not old enough to be in the National Assembly, appointing someone who is not educated at all, or appointing someone who is not a Nigerian citizen. So some of the issues regarding maybe the tidying up of their papers and all of that, those have to do with the Senate rules. I think the Senate might look into a situation whereby before they invite someone to the plenary, they should make sure that they do all the housekeeping, because it should study what their colleagues do in other countries. Before you come to the plenary, that's not the place where a senator should stand up and say, I can't find one or two documents. No, they should make sure that the clerk clears all of that for them. and they are all satisfied, and they confirm from all of them, are you okay with the paper, before you invite the president. And we need to know that, there's nothing unusual about a rancorous parliament. In fact, that's the temperament of a parliament. You don't expect them to be placid and sit down there like they're watching movies. They are supposed to show their disagreement when they disagree. So I don't want Nigerians to say that when you have any activity in the Senate, any disagreement, any gesture, that, the Senate is not doing the session correctly. No, the Senate is supposed to be
All right.
live.
Well, we also do have